Secretary of State Antony Blinken traveled to Mexico City today to meet with Mexican President Manuel López Obrador. The meeting comes as a large caravan carrying an estimated 6,000 migrants now approaches the southern border. The record level of crossings has strained federal and local resources for both countries. And for more on this, I'm joined this hour by CBS News immigration and politics reporter Camilo Montoya-Galvez. Thanks so much for being with us. I want to start with asking you about whether both countries are really hoping to accomplish something here and what that would be.
Hi, Chanel. This is a pivotal and important meeting for the Biden administration as it struggles to manage an intensifying migration crisis that has escalated not just in its scale and the sheer number of migrants crossing the border, but also in its humanitarian implications. Just this past week, daily Border Patrol apprehensions surpassed 10,000 on multiple days, overwhelming agents in Texas and Arizona, in small communities like Eagle Pass, Texas, Jacumba Hot Springs, California, and Lukeville, Arizona. Federal and local resources have been strained by this influx. And obviously, receiving cities like New York City and Chicago have also struggled to house tens of thousands of migrants in need of shelter. So the Biden administration and these officials who have been dispatched to Mexico today are under tremendous pressure to convince Mexico, Chanel, to do more to help the U.S. reduce the number of illegal crossings along this shared 2,000-mile-long border. And among other requests, we can expect the U.S. to ask Mexico to accept more deportations and returns of migrants from the U.S. We should expect U.S. officials also to get Mexico to conduct more interior enforcement in its own territory to stop and deport migrants but before they get to the U.S. border, and also to bolster enforcement at the Guatemala-Mexico border to stem the tide of migration before it actually reaches the U.S.-Mexico border. So just like in other periods where the U.S. has faced an immigration crisis, Chanel, the U.S. is again relying on Mexico, which is again playing this outsized role in how America responds to this incredibly complex issue.
So I want to ask about the recent migrant marches. What more can you tell us about that? And what happens once they actually reach the border?
So we have seen migrant caravans or marches before in U.S. history in recent years under Republican and Democratic administrations. We had not seen one this size in quite some time, in several years. So that is noteworthy. It is important to note that historically, these migrant caravans disperse before they actually reach the U.S.-Mexico border and before they reach northern Mexico, and they don't really arrive with their original scale and size. So that's important to note. In terms of how those migrants would be processed, it really depends on many factors, including their nationality and the actions they take. For example, the Biden administration is allowing some migrants in Mexico to request an appointment via a phone app to enter the U.S. legally at a port of entry, so they could choose to wait for that appointment, though obviously the number of slots for that program is capped, and that has led many migrants to forego that program and just cross illegally. If they cross illegally, they could face this expedited deportation process, Chanel. But the truth of the matter is that if those migrants are not from Mexico or Central America, it is very likely that they will be released because of logistical reasons. The U.S., just simply put, Chanel, does not have the resources, the agents, and the detention facilities to screen and detain everyone who right now is crossing along the border.
And Camilo, part of the problem here is that we aren't seeing consensus from our own government about how to tackle this problem. We're seeing Texas Governor Greg Abbott's new plan to fly migrants to Democratic-led cities. I wonder what you think about this. I mean, what happens to folks once they get into America?
Yeah, so this is the latest effort by Texas Governor Greg Abbott, a Republican, to challenge President Biden on this issue of the border and immigration policy. He has announced new plans to fly migrants to Chicago and New York City. As you probably recall, Chanel, he had already been busing migrants to these cities, as well as other Democratic-led jurisdictions like Denver, Philadelphia, and Washington, D.C. But this is an escalation of that, and it will likely further escalate and intensifying these growing challenges that cities are facing in terms of housing migrants. And just this past week, the governor signed what could become one of the strictest state immigration laws in the country, allowing state officials to arrest migrants for crossing into the U.S. illegally. That is typically a federal responsibility, Chanel.
Okay, lots to follow on this story. Camilo, thanks so much for that reporting.
Of course.